Hi guys, my name is Minhajuddin Ansari and you're watching the 15th tutorial on C programming, and today we will be talking about multi-dimensional arrays. So a multi-dimensional array is an array of arrays. Let me repeat my definition. A multi-dimensional array is an array of arrays. In our previous tutorials, we talked about single-dimensional arrays, and we found out that a single-dimensional array is an array of elements. But a multi-dimensional array is an array of arrays. And let me give you an example of a multi-dimensional array. So I'm going to declare an integer array called num, and I'm going to write two subscripts. So the number of subscripts determine the dimensions of the array. Since there are two subscripts, this is a two-dimensional array. If I had written three subscripts, it would have been a three-dimensional array. And a single dimensional array only has one subscript. So let me write the values of these subscripts. I'm going to write 2 and 2. So how would you represent this two-dimensional array? Let me show you. First, I'm going to write the brackets of my two-dimensional array. And inside the two-dimensional array, there are two arrays. Because a multi-dimensional array is an array of arrays, so inside my array num, there are two arrays. So I'm going to write my two arrays, and I'm going to separate it by a comma. And inside those two arrays, there are two integer elements, since this array is of type int. So I'm going to write my two integers, 1, 2, and 3 and 4. So this is how your this is how your num array looks like. Now, if I want to access the value 2, how would I do that? So before that, let me just index my arrays and elements. So since this is the first array inside the array num, I'm going to index it 0. And this is the second array, so I'm going to index it 1. And with my blue color, this is my first element, so I'm going to index it 0. This is my second element, so I'm going to index it 1, and 0 and 1 right here as well. So if I want to access the value 2, if I want to print it, what would I do? I would use my printf statement and I would write the name of my array num, and I would write two subscripts. Now this value 2 is found in the first array. So I would write a 0 right here indicating my first array, and this is the second element inside my first array. So I would write a 1 right here, and this would print the value 2. Similarly, if I wanted to print the value 4, what would I do? I would again write the printf statement and write the name of my array and the two subscripts. And now this value 4 is found in the second array inside my array num. So I would write a 1 right here indicating my second array. And since this is the second element inside the second array, again, I'm going to write a 1 right here as well. And this will give me the value 4. Similarly, if I wanted to write a three-dimensional array, I would again write the type of my array, the name of my array, and for a three-dimensional array, I would write 3 subscripts. And let me just write the values of the subscripts, 2, and let me add a 3 right here and a 2 right here. So how would I represent this array? Again, I would write the curly brackets of my array num, and inside my three-dimensional array num, there are two arrays. So let me write two arrays, 1 and 2, and I'm going to write their indexes 0 and 1. Remember, indexing the C language starts at 0. So inside those two arrays, there are 3 arrays. So I'm going to write 3 arrays inside here, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And inside these, let me just write index right here, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. And inside these 3 arrays, there are 2 integer elements. So I'm going to change my color, and I'm going to write 2 integer elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12. So now if I want to print the value 10, what would I do? I would use my printf statement, and I would write the name of my array, and I will write the 3 subscripts. Now this value 10 is found in the second outermost array. So I would write a 1 right here, and it is found inside the second array of the second outermost array. So again, I will write a 1 here as well, and it is the second element inside that second inner array. So I would write a 1 here as well, and this will give me the value 10. Similarly, if I wanted to print the value, let's say I wanted to print the value 12, what would I do? I would write printf, I would write the name of my array, 3 subscripts right here, and since this is found in the second outermost array, again, I would write a 1 right here, and it is found in the third innermost array. So I would write a 2 right here, and it is the second element inside that third innermost array. So I would write a 1 right here as well, and this would give me the value 12. So this is how you can access values of a multi-dimensional array. So now let me write it in code. Let me write, so here I've written a 2-dimensional array, and I'm going to initialize it. So since this is a 2-dimensional array, so it contains 2 arrays in it. So I'm going to write my 2 arrays, and each of those 2 arrays has 2 elements. So I'm going to write my 2 integer elements, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now if I want to print the value 2, what would I do? I would write my printf statement, %d, I would write the name of the array and my 2 subscripts right here. And this value, okay, I was printing the value 1. So this value 1 is found in the first inner array. So I'm going to write 0 right here, and it is the first element in the first inner array. So I'm going to write a 0 here as well. So when I run this program, I'm going to get a 1 in my output. Similarly, if I wanted to print the value 4, what would I do? This is found in the second inner array. So I'm going to write 1, and it is the second element inside the second inner array. So I'm going to write 1 here as well, and this would give me the value 4. So similarly, you can extend this to 3-dimensional and 4-dimensional arrays. Just keep one thing in mind: a multi-dimensional array is simply an array of arrays. So this is all about multi-dimensional array. Thanks for watching the video.